After getting back to winning ways and in back-to-back races, Mercedes are now finally looking like a serious team again. But the Brackley-based side isn't stopping there, as there's good reason why the team is now looking the most like pre-2021 again, and with the new upgrades coming, we could be looking at a serious Silver Arrow car once again. Lewis Hamilton mastered the variable conditions at Silverstone to claim victory at the British GP. The seven-time champion displayed remarkable speed in both wet and dry conditions, highlighting his skill and experience. Equally important, Mercedes now has a car capable of consistently winning races for the first time in years. Adding to the positive outlook, the Silver Arrows have upgrades on the horizon. Mid-season development has always been a crucial element in Formula One. However, the introduction of the budget cap has heightened the stakes for all the teams. Efficiency is now rewarded and mistakes are penalised. This reality significantly impacted Mercedes 12 months ago when the misguided development path set by Mike Elliott proved highly detrimental. Under James Allison's leadership, however, the situation at Brackley has been completely transformed. The turning point for the W15 was in Monaco when Mercedes introduced a new front wing specification. It was a strange but good upgrade and even made Red Bull complain about it. This specification was first introduced on Russell's car in Monaco. It was then brought to both cars in Canada, and to devastating effect. An unofficial request has been submitted to the FIA technical office to monitor the flexing at the W15's front wing and nose. This was accompanied by a series of other fresh components in the subsequent rounds, which put the W15 in its optimum operating window. Moreover, these changes corrected the previously inconsistent correlation at Brackley. Data from the wind tunnel now matches perfectly with the reality on track, giving the team great confidence moving forwards. Speaking a few weeks ago, James Allison gave some fighting talk about the trajectory from Brackley. He emphasised that last year's limitations are firmly in the past, speaking confidently about the rest of 2024. I also know what we have got coming. I also know what we are planning to further improve the car. As the Mercedes technical director revealed several weeks ago, more upgrades are on the way. The next sequence of races leading up to the summer break will be pivotal. Toto Wolff aims for his team to solidify their advancements before the second half of the season begins. If the upcoming upgrades provide even a few tenths of a second advantage, Mercedes can consistently compete at the front. Even without a significant leap compared to their rivals, the Silver Arrows have demonstrated why they were dominant for nearly a decade. Operational mistakes frequently made by McLaren are just not seen at Mercedes. Assuming the German team avoids the downward trend currently affecting Ferrari, there is every reason to anticipate more wins in the future. This year's W15 embodies a relatively new aerodynamic philosophy for the team. Unlike Red Bull, who have maintained a consistent design concept since 2022, Mercedes have been in a transition phase over the past 12 months. Only a modest improvement is needed from Mercedes, especially since Red Bull, McLaren and Ferrari have already introduced most of their updates. But Toto Wolff doesn't think a miracle happened, but rather massively praised the work Allison is doing with the team. Wolff insists that the so-called magic front wing is not the sole reason for Mercedes' resurgence. Instead, he attributes their success to a moment of clarity from technical director Allison, where suddenly everything fell into place. There was a moment where, led by James, suddenly the data made sense and the gap, he told the media at Silverstone. Mainly the way we balanced the car and how we could bring it in a better sweet spot. That was the main thing. It wasn't a miracle front wing, it is more the balance that we achieved. Believe it or not, scoring 142 points in the 5 races since George Russell ran the new wing in Monaco, Mercedes have outscored every team on the grid, including Red Bull. And this is something that was unimaginable after the first few races of the season, where Mercedes barely made it consistently into Q3. Of course, all until that Monaco GP. They, however, remain fourth in the Constructors' Championship, where they are 74 points down on third-placed McLaren. It clicked, Wolff added. Suddenly everything that didn't make sense made sense. The development direction, or the results of the development direction, are like back in the old days. We are finding performance, we are putting it on the car, and it translates into lap time. That wasn't the case for the last 2 years. There's more to come in terms of performance we're bringing. We're bringing bits to Budapest and Spa, but on the other side, we mustn't get carried away. We had a win last week benefiting from the entangling, but today we have an honest win. We had the real pace. So what has happened to the car? How is Mercedes a decent team again? Well, the so-called the vanity panel, which you are looking at right now, features a new bulge, which the team claims is related to cooling, increasing the passage of cool air into the cockpit without the forward-facing inlet previously used. However, the notion that the new bulge is solely for cooling seems a bit at odds with how air would typically flow through that part of the car. Normally, driver cooling is directed to a specific region to avoid messy flow conditions, particularly given the numerous components housed in that area, including moving suspension elements. Moreover, it's peculiar to increase the bulge for more airflow while closing off a forward vent to outside air. Additionally, the team did not report any alteration to the vanity panel in the car presentation document at the Austrian Grand Prix, which suggests it wasn't updated for aerodynamic reasons. By the British GP, the retention of the new chassis bulge in cold conditions where drivers don't need extra cooling sparked speculation there's more to the change than meets the eye. It suggests the real modification lies beneath the panel, though the team hasn't confirmed it. A detailed study of the components in this area indicates a revised damper layout requiring more space. Such a change could be crucial in enhancing Mercedes' aero platform stability and achieving the balance they've been pursuing. Mercedes has a history of adding a bulge in this area for suspension changes. Back in 2016, the team tested a new arrangement on the W06 for the following season, featuring both an S-duct and a revised heave damper. At that time, Mercedes was renowned for its suspension kinematics and their impact on the aerodynamic platform. For instance, Mercedes had one of the most advanced front-to-rear interconnected FRIC suspension systems before the concept was banned, setting the stage for its successful hydraulic suspension systems. The switch to traditional spring and damper setups with current cars has diminished some of the benefits Mercedes and other teams enjoyed before the regulation changes. You can see how that simple of a change can turn a team's fortunes, which basically proves that in F1 you have to min-max every possible detail in order to reach the desired results, and that is what Mercedes has done in 2024. Hamilton has faced a lot of criticism his way, and for a good cause. After deciding to leave Mercedes last winter, he naturally hoped to end his time with the team on a high note. You don't have complete control over that, but by winning his home race for the 9th time and setting a new record for the number of victories in the same Grand Prix, he has now provided that great ending. Having entered F1 in 2007 with McLaren, then Mercedes' works partner, Hamilton's collaboration with Mercedes stems back over 2 decades. Having won every single one of his record 104 Grand Prix victories with Mercedes power, Hamilton said he will be eternally grateful for the contribution the manufacturer has had in his success. I'm very fortunate to have been a part of Mercedes for this last 18 years, he said. Actually more than that, 20 plus years, because they started supporting me when I was 13. But obviously every Grand Prix win that I've had, the 104, has been with Mercedes, powered by Mercedes, and something that I will always be grateful to have been a part of. There have been many people saying that his time may have run out, that he is getting too old, that Ferrari may be annoyed about their decision, but he has proven that he is a champion, and I personally believe this won't be his last victory this season, let alone in his career. Do you think Mercedes, though, will bounce back? Let us know down in the comments below. We'll see you soon in the next video.